When people talk about danger, they often imagine something loud, a warning shout, a growl, a storm before it breaks. But life rarely announces its storms like that. Sometimes danger enters quietly, wearing a smile, acting gentle, waiting patiently until you trust it enough to let it into your life. This is the story of Daniel, a young man who learned one of the most important lessons anyone can ever learn: the power of discernment and the courage to rise again after betrayal. Daniel grew up believing the best about people. He wasn't naive, he just had a good heart. He always helped people, always showed kindness, and always assumed everyone's intentions were just as pure as his. He believed that goodness, when shared, returns multiplied. But life was about to teach him that not everyone who claps for you is happy for you, and not everyone who hugs you is a friend. Daniel had a dream. He wanted to start a small business that offered inspiration to others. He wanted to motivate young people, help them discover their gifts, and prove that their background did not determine their future. But like many dreamers, he didn't have the money or support he needed. He only had passion and an unshakable belief that one day things would work out. One afternoon, while he was sitting alone under a tree writing new ideas in his worn-out notebook, a friendly voice interrupted his thoughts. "Hey, bro. You look like someone planning something big." Daniel looked up and saw a young man with a bright smile. His name was Felix. He spoke with confidence, walked with purpose, and seemed like the kind of person who understood vision. Felix listened to Daniel's ideas with so much excitement that Daniel felt lucky to have met him. "You know what?" Felix said with a grin. "I can help you. I know people, investors, business mentors. Just stick with me." Daniel felt hope rise inside him. For the first time in months, someone believed in his dream. Someone spoke to him like his vision mattered. In the weeks that followed, Felix became like a brother. He encouraged Daniel, connected with him every day, and acted like his biggest supporter. Whenever Daniel doubted himself, Felix was there. Whenever Daniel lost motivation, Felix lifted him up. He was helpful, cheerful, and attentive, almost too perfect. People in the community loved Felix too. He was active, friendly, and always laughing. Daniel felt safe with him. He trusted him completely. But the real character of a person is not revealed in moments of kindness, it is shown in moments of advantage. One day Felix told Daniel, "I've spoken with someone who wants to invest in your dream. We just need to put together a little money to secure the meeting. Don't worry, I'll guide you." Daniel, desperate for the opportunity, gathered everything he had, his savings, the little money he earned from helping neighbors, and handed it to Felix. Felix promised to handle the rest. Days passed, then weeks. Felix's calls reduced. His texts became shorter. His excuses became longer. Daniel's heart started sinking. Something didn't feel right. But the mind will find excuses to protect the people it loves and trusts. So Daniel ignored the signs until he couldn't ignore them anymore. One evening, after Felix didn't show up for the fourth meeting, Daniel decided to go to his house. He needed answers. He knocked on the door. No reply. He knocked again. A neighbor came out. "Are you looking for Felix?" "Yes," Daniel said. The neighbor sighed and shook his head. "That boy? He left 2 days ago. Packed everything. He has done this to several people. Be careful." Daniel froze. His hands went cold. Everything he had believed in, everything he hoped for, everything he entrusted to Felix was gone. He had trusted the wrong person. A wolf in sheep's clothing. His first reaction was shock. Then pain. Deep pain. The kind that sits heavy on your chest and steals your breath. He felt stupid, embarrassed, and broken. How could someone who encouraged him so passionately be the same person who destroyed his progress? For days, Daniel couldn't get out of bed. He stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment with Felix. The laughter, the promises, the hope, the betrayal. It felt like a cruel joke played by life. But deep inside his heart, a small voice kept whispering, "Get up. This is not where your story ends." One morning, Daniel sat up, wiped his tears, and did something powerful. He forgave Felix. Not because Felix deserved it, but because Daniel deserved peace. Betrayal is painful, but holding on to it is even more painful. Forgiveness doesn't make you weak. It frees your spirit so you can rise again. Then Daniel picked up his old notebook, the one he had abandoned, and began writing again. This time, his ideas were sharper, deeper, clearer. Pain had removed the noise. Heartbreak had opened his eyes. He realized something important. His dream didn't die because someone betrayed him. It only became stronger because he finally understood what the journey required: discernment. Daniel became wiser, more observant, more intentional. He started learning about business on his own. He joined free seminars, read books, watched tutorials, and began taking small steps without waiting for anybody to rescue him. And slowly, life began to honor his effort. Months later, Daniel's motivational initiative started gaining attention. People invited him to speak. Schools called him to inspire students. His story, the pain, the betrayal, the rise, became a message that touched thousands. One day, during an event, someone walked up to him and said, "You are so strong. How did you survive everything you went through?" Daniel smiled gently and replied, "I learned that not everyone who appears kind has good intentions. But even when you meet a wolf in sheep's clothing, don't let it stop your destiny. Let it teach you. Let it sharpen you. Let it strengthen you." This time, he was no longer the vulnerable dreamer who trusted blindly. He was a man who understood people, who watched actions instead of words, and who trusted slowly but intentionally. Daniel learned that betrayal is not the end, it is a teacher. Pain is not a punishment, it is preparation. And disappointment is not a dead end, it is redirection. The wolf took his money, but the lesson gave him something more powerful: wisdom, strength, and clarity. And with those, Daniel rose higher than he ever imagined. So the next time someone enters your life looking perfect, speaking softly, helping you at every turn, remember, not every friendly voice is honest. Not every smile is pure. Not every promise is real. Watch carefully. Trust slowly. Move wisely. But above all, never stop believing in your purpose. Never let betrayal make you bitter. Let it make you better. Because even when wolves hide in sheep's clothing, destiny still belongs to those who refuse to give up.